Why did I start this? How did I get into this? My specialty is cloud security, file security. I've been doing this for legal entities, medical entities, engineering entities since about 1987 when I started my company. We've been a little bit ahead of the curve in multi-platform security, internet security, cloud security, and provided those solutions for a number of people. For about 15 years, I was working with a group of doctors in California, and we were jumping through hoops to make sure that we were, one, what we call HIPAA compliant in the US, medical standards compliant in the US, but also bring a new level of security to those files and records. And very successful. We had some large groups using our tools, and that all worked really well. And then sitting in my house in California, and I get a Facebook message from my girlfriend 27 years ago saying, "Hey stranger, where are you?" And I said, "No, where are you? I'll start driving right now." And she told me she lived in Brisbane, Australia. So it took me a little bit of time to get my life organized and get out here. But once I got here and got settled, when we got married, I started working this same business. I also had a new business partner come on board who was very familiar with the records problem, the health records problem. And during that time, she had a medical issue that had us going to an oncologist. So the way the doctor looked at the stuff, looked at the tests, actually the way he even talked to us felt weird to me. And so I asked for a second opinion, and to my wife's chagrin, we went through all the extra expense of getting a second opinion here in Australia. And again, I wasn't quite satisfied with how we were being communicated with, and how the records from the first doctor couldn't be assessed by the second doctor because of the hospitals or hospital groups they were associated with. So I brought all those files into an electronic package. I sent them to a doctor, actually not any doctor. They told us what she possibly had. So I found a world expert in that particular type of cancer, very rare form of cancer. And through a little bit of time, I was able to get in contact with his pathology group. I sent them everything I had, and they flatly just said, "This is not what they're saying it is. It has none of the markers that we have for this. We recommend that you don't have the surgery." My wife, who at the time, whose mother had died of breast cancer, didn't trust this assessment. She went forward with it, and ended up having the surgery. A year later, she continued to get sick. One of the assessments that neither of the oncologists pointed out to us was an assessment by the imaging doctor that said she should definitely go to her gyno and have that checked out. And in fact, she had ended up with a cricket ball sized cyst amongst her fallopian tubes and cervix and small intestine, large intestine, that was actually causing the problem. And I was too slow. I was too slow in putting this together for her. So she ended up having an unneeded surgery. So that's why I'm doing this. And I tell this story to people, and they tell me stories far worse. Far worse. Sorry. We had no statistical data to back us up. We tried getting information out of the AMA, out of different entities. And then April of this year, the Mayo Clinic releases a study that says, well, what they did is they took a bunch of their health records from previous diagnoses and handed them to their new crop of doctors and had them reassess these diagnoses, and 88% of them were wrong. 21% of them could have killed the patient if they had gone forward with that diagnosis. And so it was the first little bit of indication that we were on the right track. So, we've been going flat out trying to explain to everybody what this is and why we're doing it, and now there's no question. We've been validated with statistical data from the medical industry themselves, and the anecdotal data from everyone we've talked about supports that this is a good idea. So, kind of had no choice to do it.